Hey, listeners. My name is Elisha, the founder of the Witnesses podcast. It's so beautiful to have you listening to our podcast. And I want you to know something that means a whole lot to me. Thank you for tuning in. And one thing I love to tell all of our listeners is it's not just about you listening, but listening to understand. Understanding is the most important thing. So important. So, you have to listen, learn, and practice. Thank you so very much and happy listening.
Hi, Kelly. It's so nice to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
I am fantastic, Elijah. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine as well. Beautiful. Okay, oftentimes I love to talk about the essence of this show, which is to invite amazing guests like Kelly to come talk to us about their triumphant stories, because we believe that in our audience, there might be some people who are stuck up in a situation that you came out of triumphantly. So, but
Mm-hmm.
those people getting to listening to you speak, they might actually pick some information from the words you're going to be saying here today, which might eventually lead to their transformation. So it's all about causing transformation into the life of the audience. I really love to see people get transformed. That's why I bring amazing people like you. Okay, Kelly, within the next few minutes, let us get started with your story, the challenges that you faced, and how you overcame. And afterwards, I've got some beautiful questions for you. All right, Kelly,
Okay.
over
Sounds
to
fun.
you.
All right. Sounds great. Sounds great. Well, I probably tell you, I mean, all of us have had lots of like little mini challenges throughout our life. And every once in a while, we've got like one big one that kind of throws a wrench and stuff. And I would say probably that big one that was our big pivot for us in our life was when we found out my husband needed to have brain surgery in his early 40s. And we've been together almost 30 years now. So, but at that point in time, we had two little kids, 7 and 9, I think at the time. And, we're in our early 40s. We're just at the start of our careers. We're really kind of digging into it. Then all of a sudden, like the brakes get slammed on and we're told he's got to have brain surgery. And it's because he had what was called a pineal gland cystic mass sitting in the middle of his brain, causing all sorts of havoc with stuff. Oh, and we had two new puppies too. Like add in that as well too, like two new big gigantic puppies. So uh you know through that whole process, and as the caregiver during that point in time, I just went into let's just get things done mode, not really thinking about anything else except for make sure my kids are taken care of, make sure the puppies are taken care of, make sure my husband's taken care of, making sure everything is done where it needs to be done. And so throughout all of that, while my husband was recovering from his brain surgery, my back went out on me, and I literally could not, like, if I sat in a chair to reach down to tie my shoes, I couldn't get myself back up. I had to sit on the floor, pull my legs up, and tie my shoes. And we're very active people. We always have been. So just the fact that our life just came to a screeching halt at that point in time was really where we were at. And we're sitting in our middle 40s, or early mid 40s, going, okay, what do we do? So I had really great friends at work who said, hey, Kelly, come do this warrior dash with us. And I'm like, sure, let's go do it. And then I kind of took a step back and went, okay, wait a minute. What's a warrior dash? Like, what did I just sign up for? And it turned out to be, it was just like this 5K through the woods, about 20, 25 obstacles, extremely muddy. They happened to leave the muddy part out. I'm a little irritated at them still, but they left the muddy part out. I mean, it was like you're drenched in mud, but we fell in love with it. So my husband, this happened probably a few months after his surgery date, and I had to work to get myself back into shape in that respect. But my kids and my husband came out to watch because he couldn't participate and the kids were too little. But that like set this little bug inside us going, okay, we've got to like turn some things around and really have a goal to aim for. And that goal for my husband was he wanted to participate in an obstacle course race. It was new to us. It was in I think it was 2014. And I know a lot of people have been doing them since then. But he was like, he needed that thing. And I think that with a lot of people, we need that thing to pull us through whatever it is we're going through. And for him, it was, he needed that goal. He's a Marine, so it had to be something physical for him to get himself back healthy again and moving again. And so that's where the obstacle courses really kind of came in for us and got us, I mean, honestly, I think really got us through these little parts in our lives through our 40s as we were going through these transition, not just the big, his brain surgery, but also just our transition from through midlife and, all the little things that seem to happen to us through these wonderful midlife things that go on. So since then we've done a ton of obstacle courses and we still do them. And that's the fun part because now our kids come out with them. We do probably 3 to 5 a year. And now in my 50s, I will tell you, I am stronger and healthier than I ever have been because just that transition to doing these obstacle courses and really realizing what do I want my life to look like? Do I want to be unhealthy and just tired all the time? Or do I want to actually have some vibration or vibrancy to my life? I choose the other. I choose the vibrancy. And so that's been that's our carrot that we work towards all the time is working for those. And it also helps because my husband we've soon now discovered too, that part of what was causing his issues at the time that led us to the brain surgery, he has a neuromuscular autoimmune issue called Lambert Eaton myasthenic syndrome. LEMS for short, just try to say that one all the time. And it's a muscle disorder that he's got to keep his muscles working. So it's under the MS camp. And so he's got to keep his muscles working. So if he doesn't, he'll end up in a wheelchair. So that's further push for us to stay healthy and get up and work out and do the things that we need to do.
Okay, Kelly.
Yes.
Shall we dive into the questions now? You
Yeah,
ready?
absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so let's say someone asks you, "Hey, Kelly, how can I be my own health detective?" What would your response be?
I would say you have to be like you have got to take center stage and control of your health. And this is not to say that the doctors or anything like that don't know what they're doing, but I think if you are not always constantly just taking control of your own health, then you will not be the healthy person that you want to be. So in a couple aspects of that is that we would not know what my husband is dealing with right now if we didn't sit there and keep going back and saying, okay, why are you still having double vision was the big thing he was struggling with. Like, why are you still having this? Like your glasses are getting thicker and thicker and that prism is getting bigger and bigger. Like that's not the right thing. So really what's going on? Don't band-aid your health. Don't just take a pill or a drug or something other and say, okay, I got it, because most of those are going to be leading to another issue anyway. Try so hard to keep working towards the root cause of whatever it is that is ailing you. And don't be afraid. Like, do not be afraid to call the doctors. Like, I know in our system here in the States, how, we have to like get referrals and all this kind of stuff. It's like, don't be afraid to call the doctor and say, hey, I'm going to be a cash pay. And I just want you to take a look at this, because most doctors are going to do so. And if you don't take center stage and control of your health, then you'll never probably get to the root issue of what's going on. So stay curious, work hard, keep working through things, keep asking yourself, is this normal? And keep doing the little detective things that you need to, and you'll find one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, and then you'll hopefully eventually find the cause, or at least find some things that'll help you through whatever it is that might be ailing you or bothering you.
Hmm, what a beautiful answer. I love that answer.
I want for people to be healthy, and I know that nobody wants your health more than you do. And I know all the doctors do. I think they really mean well, but I also think they're also they're time crunched and they don't spend as much time with you. You spend time with you 100% of the time. So nobody wants the health more than you do. So be active, be an active participant in your own health.
Okay, the next question. This says, why do you say that people should face life's obstacles like they do on race day? Got that?
I love this one. I do. Because, okay, so how many times do you run into something? And I think so many times too often, we play the victim. Like, this happened to me, not for me. Like, so many of our obstacles in our life are there for a reason. So when we go out on the field, we know those obstacles are going to be there. In fact, we signed up for this crazy thing to start with. We pay good money to do it. We pay good money to go over and struggle and get over these walls and climb over these things and push ourselves to try something that's hard and a challenge for us. So guess what? Life is kind of the same way. You're here. If you can choose to be an active participant in life and say, hey, this is pretty cool. Okay, that obstacle looks pretty challenging. Like, oh crap, how am I going to get over that? To, okay, yeah, how am I going to get over that? Let's figure this one out. Because that's the attitude we have on the field. We look at that obstacle and we're like, okay, well, that's interesting. Yeah. So why don't we look at life like that? And another thing that I love about obstacle courses, I think very, I think it's very in tune for this day and age, is the collaborative nature that we have when we're out on the field. And in fact, I wrote a whole section on the book about that, was the fact that when we go out there, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you look like. None of that stuff matters. It just matters that we are all out here working to get through these obstacles together. And I can't tell you how many obstacles I have gotten over because some random stranger who I will never know, will never be able to pick out in a field ever again, actually came over and lent a hand to help me over. And how many people we've stopped to help over an obstacle. So, I mean, it's like little things like leaving, holding the door open for somebody, helping somebody, just saying hi and smiling to somebody on the day. You never know what impact that's going to have on somebody. So it's that kind of thought process that, what, we are all on this big, crazy, muddy world together. Why can't we just all help each other like we do on the field?
I got that too.
That's why I
Okay.
say that.
Yeah. Okay, so another one. Can you talk to us about that one lesson from the obstacle course races, and that lesson really impacted you the most? That one lesson from the obstacle course races that has impacted you the most. Can you talk to us about it?
So what's impacted me the most on these
Yeah,
courses, what I've
yeah,
discovered the most?
yeah, yeah.
I think one of the things, okay, so what's impacted me the most is, and it actually was why I ended up writing the book to start with, so there's this obstacle that I tried to get over. The first time I got to it, my husband had actually hurt his left arm early on. And so he couldn't get, it was this big wall, it was almost 14 feet tall. And you use a rope to climb up it and conquer the gauntlet. And I had not really worked on my strength that much. It was the first time we'd ever come to a wall like this. My husband had hurt his arm on another obstacle early on. And so I tried to get up the wall and I couldn't get up it. I was just like hanging from the rope, like literally had to slide my way back down the wall. So because my husband couldn't get over it, and he wasn't going to be there at the top, it would have been a struggle, really big struggle for me to get over it. I gave up on myself and I used his arm as an excuse not to do it. So I was like, okay, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm going to do that wall. How many times have we done that where we've used something else as an excuse that's not necessarily us to do? So that was a big lesson from that standpoint. The other part of it, though, was it took me 3 races to get over it. The second time, my husband actually was at the top and was able to pull me over. But I still didn't get over it by myself. The third time I hit this wall, our kids were with us then. And I got that same point at the top of the wall, struggling to get over it. Then I heard my daughter's voice from below say, "You've got this, Mom." And it just like changed. It flipped. I went from, I can't do this. Why am I up here? What am I thinking? What crazy woman is here struggling at the top of this wall? Like, what am I doing here? To, oh my gosh, I have got to get over this thing because she's got to get over this thing. So when I was reflecting back, so yes, I did get over. I got my leg over somehow. I think I probably kicked the guy next to me. So sorry, guy. I got to the top and he and I got my daughter over. But when I was reflecting on that, it really hit home to me, my role as a mother, my role as a person in our family. Like, it's okay for our kids to see our struggle. It's okay for our kids to see that, those things are, not everything in life is going to be easy. Like, I just think that that's something that's important as parents, that we need to be able to show our children that the struggle is real, because they're going to struggle. But they also need to see us succeed. They need to see us struggle through something and succeed. And they need us to be there for them when they're struggling. So, my daughter would not have been able to get over that top had I not been up there to be able to help pull her over. So all of those things kind of solidified itself on my thought process when I went through, like, what in the world happened on that wall? It's amazing how in a short period of time, all these things can go floating through your head. But like, that was probably the biggest impact. And it just impacted my life and everything I do now. I realized, my kids are here watching, my family's here watching. And that's in a good way, not a bad way, like, oh my gosh, they're watching. But I want to do well for them. Like, my purpose is to make sure they see, yes, I struggle, but yes, I still push through and I still complete the things I set out to do. Or I come back and say, you know what? Actually, that was probably not a good idea to do. And I'm going to not do that, because these are the life lessons that they need to learn.
True, that's so correct. Okay, Kelly, the second to the last question.
Okay.
All right, so this says, what is a fiduciary wellness advisor? I don't know if you got that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I know. They're like, what in the world is that? Something I made up? Yes, very much so. I totally made it up. Okay. So I spent 25 years in the financial services industry, and I was a fiduciary registered investment advisor. So, okay, what in the world does that mean? So basically means that in our world, in our lovely acronym filled world in the financial services industry, you can either find something that is suitable for somebody, or you can find a best fit for someone. So best fit is the fiduciary role. So when I went back to school to become a board certified health and wellness coach, and I was trying to figure out, okay, I'm making this shift into the health space because I really feel strongly that, because I've seen the impact of bad health and bad wealth, what that does to people in their later years in life. And I want to help people right their boat in both spaces. I've saw a lot of folks in the wellness space that they're selling a product, which that's not a bad thing, but the product is in a suitable category. Like, anybody could use this product, that's fine, but is it the best fit? So in me trying to decide, okay, how do I help people the best, and how can I really help people really fit their wellness into their life the best way they can? Well, I'm going to take a fiduciary approach where I don't have a product I'm selling. I'm really doing more of the planning and the strategy and the mindset, and really helping people get in tune with what does wellness mean with them, and what do the little factors of the pillars between nutrition and movement and stress and a few other things that go into that. What does that really mean to you? Like I would in the financial side of things. So it's really just helping people build awareness of where they are and what they like, and make that plan to bridge to their goal in life. And then let's go out and find the product that's going to help you get there. So that's what I mean by a fiduciary wellness advisor.
Okay.
Totally made it up. Totally made it up. Hey,
That's a beautiful job you're doing. I tell you, it's a great thing. I really love it.
well, we're making some strides, and the clients that I work with, they're really starting to build that awareness piece where they're like, okay, because all of it is our choices. And you don't really understand until you really take a step back what your choice, where it's leading you. And when you do take a step back and be like, okay, why am I doing what I'm doing? Like, why am I going to the fridge? I know when I'm avoiding something, I go immediately look for some salty treat in my pantry. And so I know, I'm like, okay, Kelly, stop. You're avoiding something right now. Get your butt back into your office and go get the work done. Stop looking for the salty treat. So it's like little things like that you just have to start really working on and becoming more aware of what's going on. And that's that planning, the planning and awareness piece.
Beautiful. Oh man, Kelly, it has been a beautiful moment with you on the show. I tell you, very interesting. Your
Oh, good.
insight, your insight on these stuffs are really, really incredible, and I love it. Okay, Kelly. So, in conclusion,
Okay.
let's say there is one piece of advice you'd love to give to the listeners, what would that be? And let's say there are someone's listening who felt like, oh my, I really need to get in touch with Kelly. I've got some questions. I want to know more about her, what she's doing, and all of that. How can that be possible?
Oh, absolutely. I think the what there's lots of things I would love to impart, but one thing, I think the biggest thing is just start becoming aware. Like whenever things are going on, and aware with non-judgment. Just be aware of what your choices in your life are leading to. And again, awareness with non-judgment, because we don't want to judge what your choices are. We just want to see. You can't make any changes until you really truly connect with why you're doing what you're doing. And again, you have to come at it from a non-judgmental piece, because it's not to say, oh, that's bad. It's just to say, okay, that's interesting. Like, all right, so this is why I do this. Like I said, this is why I go to the pantry to look for my salty treat when I know I'm avoiding working on my blog, or I'm working on something else here. Or I know this is why I go here when I want my comfort food, or or I'm avoiding working out when I'm doing, this is how I'm feeling. When you start to become more aware of these little mental cues, then you start to be able to take more control of your health and your life. And that's a huge, big starting piece. And again, awareness with non-judgment.
Beautiful. Okay, how can they get in touch? Learn more about you.
So the best way to do so is you can follow me at kellymajdan.com. That's my website, and that's Majdan. And then also Power Through Wellness is my company, and you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Power Through Wellness.
Okay, beautiful. You say, I can cite a book behind you. Did you write
Oh
that? Is that your book?
yes, I did. I did.
Oh
Yes.
man,
So
what's the
the
title?
book is lessons. Yeah. The book is Lessons from the Obstacle Course: 5 Strategies to Conquer the Muddy Fields of Life. So if you
Yeah,
want to take a read of something, check that
yeah,
out on
and
Amazon too. Or Barnes and Noble,
beautiful.
wherever.
All right, beautiful. So, Kelly, thank you for your time. Thank you for honoring the invite. That's going to be the end of the show. Thank you for coming. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
So, well, thank you for having me, Elijah. This has been beautiful. I so appreciate the time with you.
Beautiful.
Thank you for tuning in to this incredible episode. Your support means the world to us, and we truly value you. We look forward to having you join us for the next episode. If you enjoyed what you heard, please consider rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. Your feedback is greatly appreciated.